more of your fruits and veggies.
Why did I say veggies?
13 cups of sugar.
That's a lot of sugar, but we're gonna do it because it's a syrup. So let's see how this goes.
Hey, I'm Jacqueline, and today we're making peach syrup out of peach skins and pits. So earlier in the season, I did a bushel of peaches. I canned some, I froze some, I made peach crisp with the rest. I was head over heels in peaches and I didn't know what in the world to do with them all. But at the end, I had so many skins and pits left over and I didn't know what to do with them, so I just put them in our compost pile. Good enough. But later, I saw a post on Facebook. Someone was sharing about different uses for peaches, and a commenter put that she makes the syrup out of the leftover skins and the pits. And I thought, well, that's a great way to utilize even more from your fruit. So I just went and I got another half bushel of peaches and I canned those and froze a few more bags. And I have all these pits and skins left over. I have 2 whole containers of them. So my next thing is to make watermelon cinnamon pickles. But in order to do that, I needed space in my fridge. So I had to get rid of these skins and the pits. So that's why we're doing this video first. And then watermelon rind pickles, they'll come later. I had not done this before. So we are going to learn together, and hopefully this turns out really well. As you may know from my previous jam videos, that I'm trying to cut back on sugar, so I've been using Truvia in my freezer jam instead of regular old sugar. Well, I went to the grocery store this morning, but I forgot to buy Truvia, so we are using just regular sugar. So I may just give these out as Christmas gifts later if they're a little too sweet for my liking. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour these pits and skins, right into a stainless steel pot.
Oh, golly days.
Next, we're just gonna add some water into the pot. The goal is to not completely cover the skins and the pits, but just be able to see the water kind of level with the skins and the pits. Basically, we just don't want the mixture to burn. So that's what the water is doing. I have a level right here that I'm pretty satisfied with, so I will show you and then we'll move it to the oven. I'm pretty happy with that level, so we will take this pot and move it on over to the stove. The goal here is to heat this on a medium-high heat. We're gonna bring this mixture to a boil, and once that happens, then we're going to stir it a little bit and then bring that down to a medium-low heat and let it simmer for 45 minutes. Our peaches have come to a boil, so we're just gonna turn that down to a medium-low heat so that it can simmer. Since I'm making this syrup and I know ahead of time that we're probably not going to be eating a lot of it or consuming a lot of it, and if we do, it's going to be in small amounts, I am using these half-pint jars. One, because if we do use these in our own personal use on Sunday mornings with our waffles or our pancakes, we're not going to use a bigger jar than this and any given Sunday. Maybe it'll take us a month to use this. Maybe it'll just take us a week. I don't know. Maybe my kids will go crazy for it. But the other thing about using these small jars is that they're perfectly sized for Christmas gifts. So that is my whole goal going into this, knowing that we are probably not going to keep a majority of this syrup, and then I'm going to be giving it as gifts. So this is a perfect size for gift giving. These are half pint, so they hold 8 ounces of fluid or liquid. So I have them on my baking sheet. They have already been sterilized. They have gone through the dishwasher, so they're clean and ready to go. I have them on my baking sheet. I'm gonna pop them in the oven, and that's where they're gonna stay until I am ready to use them. My lids or my flats, I went ahead and put inside this pan, filled it up with water, and I'm gonna put these on the stovetop on like a little bit higher than low setting, so that way they are warming up and softening that lid. So our skins and our pits have finished their 45 minutes of simmering, so we're gonna pour this in here. I have a cheesecloth sitting inside of a colander, which is sitting over top of another stock pot, a clean stock pot. So here we go. We're going to be very careful with this. It is very tempting to squeeze this, I will say. But we just keep moving it around until it finds new places to run through the cheesecloth. What's interesting to me and what I'm noticing right now is that the recipe didn't say anything about hanging your cheesecloth so that everything kind of drips down. It just said don't squeeze it, but it also didn't say that it was going to take forever for it to drain. So I kind of wonder if I should just let it sit here and kind of just self-drain with gravity, or if I should just get another cheesecloth, because because that would take forever just sitting here holding it. Or maybe we just cut our losses and say, hey, that's enough juice. I don't know. Okay, so I'm definitely going to get another piece of cheesecloth because I still have more skins and pits in this pot to drain. So I go to say that the next cheesecloth, I'm just gonna let sit there and just kind of gravity will do its deal. I've not used cheesecloth before, so I'm a little off-put by how crazy slow this is at straining stuff. All right, now we're going to take our strained juice and pour it in a glass measuring cup. See how much juice we have. So it looks like we have about 6.5 cups of strained juice. So I'm going to pour this back in this container. This is the clean stock pot that was in the sink that we strained our juice into. This is the dirty one that had all the cooked skins in it and stuff. So since we had about 6.5 cups of juice, that means we are going to put 13 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, but we're gonna do it because it's a syrup. So let's see how this goes. All right, 13 cups is what we're aiming for. And 13. Now we are going to put this back on the stovetop and we are going to turn it on a medium-high heat and just dissolve the sugar, which should take about 3 to 5 minutes. And then we're gonna start pouring it into our very hot jars. So I have a history of burning sugar very easily. I have made cinnamon pickles 2 years in a row, and both years something has gone wrong when I've gotten to the syrup, making the cinnamon syrup section. So I have learned, and I now use this bigger spatula that's really firm so that I can really get on the bottom of that pan and scrape. That way the syrup is not getting stuck down there and subsequently burning. So that would not be good in our syrup, is chunks of burnt sugar. So I am just stirring this. We are still on medium-high heat and I'm gonna wait for the syrup to dissolve. While I'm stirring this, I'm going to tell you about what I have set out for the next step of the process, which is when we're going to be ladling it in our jars. So here I have a doubled over towel. That way the hot glass jars don't break when they are exposed to a different temperature with the countertop. So we put a folded over towel here. I have the funnel to put in top of my jar. I have my pan of hot lids or flats right here. I have my metal flat picker upper magnetic part right here ready to go. And then I have my rings or bands set up here. So the syrup is no longer gritty when I'm stirring it. All the sugar has dissolved. So I think we are ready to go and start packing it in those jars. So I just moved my pot over to another burner just to be closer to my working station. That way I'm not ladling all that hot syrup over top of the more stove than I need to. So let's go ahead and get one of these jars out of the oven. I'm gonna put the funnel on. What we're looking for is a 1/4 inch of headspace up at the top there, because once the lid is on, the hot liquid in there is going to expand the lid, and then once it starts to cool, it's going to contract, and that is what's going to self-seal our containers. So we're going to gently twist that band on there, and I'm just going to move it over to our other folded up tablecloth. I'm going to put my oven mitt back on, and we're just going to we're rolling. Here we are at the end, and we have 14 half-pint jars of gorgeous peach syrup. I am very excited. I did taste a little. I let it cool off some and tasted it, and it is amazing. I'm so excited to try this on our pancakes and waffles, maybe even some ice cream.